Hey guys, it's Manda Panda and I'm back with another custom My Little Pony tutorial, and today we are going to be making Belle from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I am so excited to be making this custom today. The new Beauty and the Beast movie is going to come out and I can't wait to go see it. To make Belle, I'm going to be using this really large Coco Pommel figurine. And this figurine is like 4 times bigger than the ponies I normally use, but I loved the fact that she already had a dress on and I thought this was the perfect pony to make into a Disney princess. I am going to start by completely prepping the body for customization, starting by removing her head. I am firmly twisting it to the side until it pops right out. And now I need to remove all of the blue hair so we can give Belle her brown hair later. I'm starting off by using some really large scissors and cutting off the bulk of the hair here. And then I'm going to go in with some really small nail scissors and cut the hair all the way down to the scalp. Now this step is really important because making the hair short makes it so much easier to remove it later on, because we're cutting it all off but the hair roots are still glued to the inside of the head, so we are going to need to pull those out. Okay, so her hair is all cut down. I'm gonna reach in there with my long nose pliers and start pulling out all of those clumps of hair and glue, and I'm gonna repeat this over and over again until the head is completely bald like this. And I had to actually cut the plug in half down at the bottom so that way my pliers could get all the way to the top of the head. I want Belle's eyes to have more of an almond shape, so I'm going in with a little bit of acetone and I am reshaping Coco Pommel's eyes. And I do this because it makes it a lot easier for me to place the eyes later. So I don't like to remove the whole eye. I like to leave some of the original eye there to make sure that they're at the same level. Now I'm using some more acetone to remove the cutie mark and the little digital print down here at the bottom. I'm gonna use my scissors to cut off the bulk of her tail and then use my little pliers to pull out the rest of it. There we go. So now the head and the body are completely prepped to be customized. So let's get started on the head. I'm going to be using acrylic paint, Folk Arts Light Flesh, to completely cover the head. I'm going to be using 4 coats to get a really nice, solid, opaque coverage here. And I thought that this shade of flesh tone was perfect for Belle. And you can see that I've mounted the head at the end of my pliers. This makes it really easy to paint the entire thing without getting paint all over your fingers. So the skin tone has completely dried. I'm going to start working on Belle's eyes. Using some white acrylic paint, I'm going to go in and give her her eye shape. So like I said earlier, I'm going to make them a little bit almond shaped and use about 3 coats of white. And now I'm going in with a dark brown. This is called chocolate brown. And I'm going to draw in the circle of her eye. Now I'm going in with a lighter brown. This is called milk chocolate, and I am painting in the inner part of her eye because I want the eyes to have a two-toned effect. And then very carefully, I'm going to go in with the fine paintbrush and draw in her eyelash line just so I can get a really good idea of the eye shape before I put in the pupil. And I'm going to go ahead and give her some eyelashes. I'm going in with some black acrylic paint here, drawing in her pupil, and then I'm using my nail dotting tool, and I'm gonna dot one little light reflection up in the corner of her eye, and then repeat this process on the other eye. That looks so good. Next, I'm taking just a little teeny tiny bit of pink acrylic paint, and I'm dabbing it along her cheekbone to give her the effect of having some blush on. I'm going to completely cover this with a layer of clear varnish to seal all of my work in. Now it's time for hair. I've selected the color Chocolate Fudge from dollyhair.com. It is a really rich shade of brown. I love it for Belle. This hair comes in a pack that is a standard 38 inches, and I am cutting this hair in half. So I'm going to be using plugs of hair that are half of the original length. That clear coat has completely dried, and you can still see all the holes. That's where I'm going to go in and put hair plugs. I'm going to put them back in the original holes that I pulled the hair out of earlier. But I want to redefine Belle's hairline. So I'm actually using a standard needle, and I am just going in and drilling some extra holes at the front to give Belle a more V-shaped hairline, because right now it's really like squared off because Coco Pommel had bangs. That looks really good. All of those holes are drilled in. Now I'm just going to flip my needle over because right now I just have it on the regular needle end, and oh, there it goes. I couldn't figure out if it was coming out the front or the back. I'm flipping it over so I can use the pronged end to start rerooting this pony. I like to wrap the strands of hair around my finger right at the middle section, and you can see the end of my little needle here is pronged, and I'm going to gently pick up all that hair and catch it right in between those two prongs there. I'm gonna pull it nice and taut so it doesn't come out. Grab the head, and it is really sharp, so you just pick which hole you want that hair plug to go into, press down firmly, and just like that, the first hair plug is in. You can even see it right in there where it has anchored itself inside of the head. And I'm just going to repeat this process over and over again until Belle has her head of beautiful brown hair. And because of the size of this pony, it's going to take me about 5 hours to reroot the entire head because there are just so many plugs of hair. But I know it's going to come out really cool, so I don't mind. Once all of the hair plugs are in, I'm going to secure the hair. I personally like to use no-sew glue, and I pour it directly inside of the pony's head and then use a Q-tip to evenly distribute that glue all inside, and I let it dry overnight so that glue completely dries and all of my hair is safely anchored inside of the head and it won't come out when you play with the pony. Now I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I'm going to style Belle's hair. I have the hair sectioned off. I have the front bangs, and then I have the hair half up and half down. So I've used a little twist tie to twist tie half of the hair up, and what I'm going to do is hot glue it right there in the center and create the little bump that Belle has in the front of her hairdo. So I've hot glued it down, trimmed off the excess twist tie, and now I'm going to work on the bangs. So I'm going to leave the bangs flat coming down her face and then twist them upwards towards the top half of her hair. So I've glued it down at the ear. I'm twisting it up, and I'm going to hot glue the hair right onto the twist tie there, and I'm going to repeat it on the other side and use this same method to give her a twisted bun. Once the hair is finished, I'm going to put the head to the side and start working on the body. I am using that same light flesh toned acrylic paint, and I'm going to completely cover the body with 4 coats of paint to get a really good coverage. And now I'm going to start painting her dress because I'm going to paint it in 2 different steps. The color I'm going to be using is a mixture of this really pretty yellow lemon and a pearlizing medium that's going to make my yellow acrylic paint just a little bit shimmery. I'm going to paint the inside of her dress and then completely seal all of that paint in. I'm going to let it completely dry and then repeat the steps on the outside of the dress. Now, yellow is a really hard color to use, especially when covering up a dark color like purple. So it's actually going to take me about 7 coats of paint to get full coverage. While the dress is drying, I'm going to start working on Belle's body. There's not too much detail on her body. It's really just her gloves. So I've used a little bit of nail striping tape to map out where I want her gloves to end. And I'm going in with that same shade of yellow I used for her dress and painting her gloves directly on her legs. And I'm going to very carefully remove my nail striping tape, and it left me a nice crisp line. Now I'm going to seal all of the body with a coat of clear varnish. My dress has completely dried, so I'm going to actually glue it directly onto the body because I do not want it moving after I have completed the pony. So I've glued it on using a little bit of Gorilla Glue. To make all the details of Belle's dress, I'm going to be using Sugru, which is air dry rubber. And I personally prefer this over air dry clay because air dry clay can shrink and Sugru does not shrink, and it actually sticks to the surface, so you don't even have to worry about going in to glue it on later. I'm using a mixture of sunny yellow and white. I'm just going to combine these to make a softer yellow that matches the color I used for Belle's dress. I have kind of pressed out a large piece here, and I'm putting that right across the front of the pony to really define the dress front, so her neckline and her little sleeve. So I'm just using my finger to smooth that down. Sugru smooths down really easily with the warmth of your fingertips. Now I'm taking a smaller piece and putting it right in between the front 2 legs, and this is going to define the arm area. So I'm just using one of my air dry clay tools to help me press that Sugru inside. I have flattened it all out and it looks really nice. I'm just going to go in and cut out her neckline and her sleeves. And I'm using again an air dry clay tool from a little clay tool set that I found at Michael's. And you have to do all of this work kind of fast because Sugru will completely set in about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to go in and give Belle the little drape detail that she has right at her shoulders. I have rolled out little strands of Sugru and pressed 3 strands together, and this is what I'm going to use to create the drape at the front. So I'm just going to place it directly onto her shoulders, press it down, and you can really see that drape detail. It looks so good. I love the way that came out. So I'm just going to take another 3 strands and drape them on the other side, and then trim the excess so that the drape ends right at the waistline for the dress. I've rolled out 3 balls of sugru and I'm going to place them right in the front and center. A big ball right in the middle and 2 small ones on the sides. And I think that this is a really good representation of Belle's original dress. I'm going to repeat this process on the skirt of the dress to give Belle 3 drapes on the skirt. I'm going to let this sugru set for about 3 hours just to be on the safe side, and then I'm going to give the dress the golden touch using this China Glaze nail polish in Solar Power. It is a really pretty shade of yellowy gold with lots and lots of shimmer. I thought it was the perfect top coat for Belle's dress. So I'm just going to go over the entire dress and her gloves with a thick layer of this nail polish. And I didn't use this nail polish to begin with because this pony is so large. It would have taken me way too much polish, so I decided to paint it yellow and then do a top coat. I'm gonna let this completely dry, reattach the head. Let's take a look at the completed custom. Here is Belle from Disney's Beauty and the Beast, and she looks so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, her dress, her hair, it all came out fantastic. She's just missing the Beast. If you think I should make that custom, give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, little pandas. Until next time, bye. You can follow me online to get the latest news and updates. Like my Facebook page, facebook.com/Manda Panda Toy Collector, or follow me on Instagram at Manda Panda Toy Collector. Want to mail me something? Guess what? You can. Mail it to Manda Panda, P.O. Box 2855, Humble, Texas 77347.